Parents at the Vulanindlela Secondary School in Orange Farm, which is in the south of Johannesburg, are concerned about the safety of their children. They say they're not pleased with the measures that the Department of Education was supposed to have put in place before pupils returned to school. Now, our reporter Linda Mnisi was at the school and spoke to some of the parents who were seemingly very unhappy, and he joins us now this afternoon. Thank you for your time, Linda. So what transpired today, day 2 of schooling?
You know, one would expect that on the second day of learning and teaching, things would start to get back to normal at least, and everything will run smoothly given the first test on the first day. But things are not normal at Vulanindlela Secondary School in Orange Farm. Parents, they are saying, well, there's not enough PPEs. They are saying that there's around 120 matric pupils that have come back, but the number of masks that were delivered are around 80, so the 86 rather. So they're questioning, all the safety measures that have been put in place. I mean, schools had a maximum of 2 weeks really to prepare for this day, but still they don't have all the right protective equipment. There's also issues around water, but I spoke to them, Tammy, earlier on, and this is what they had to say.
Generally, not enough was done in terms of preparing for the kids, to be safe here at the school. Because firstly, the PPE that was brought by the department is not enough to cater both to the staff and for the children, So there is a general concern about that. And also, we only have one person sanitizing and screening the kids and the staff. Only one person that was sent to the department, The school governing body, the school management team has tried its best. They did the lines in terms of the social distancing around the school, So we feel that the department has not pulled its weight with regards to this matter. It's not enough to cater for the learners and the staff teachers. And also the issues of health and safety is not enough, because even if you go to the toilets, you can realize that there isn't enough, Some of the toilets are not flushing, the taps, not all of the taps are not working, And we have about 120 kids, that are supposed to be at school on a daily basis. So we are really not satisfied. I think especially with the support from the department, the governing body, the school management team, and the principals in general, I think they are having a very serious task.
So obviously the issue of PPE, a problem for the parents that went to the school supposedly to inspect and to ensure that their kids will indeed be safe. What other issues did they have? We did see a bit of a dilapidated roofing system there as well.
Infrastructure is a big problem, and this parent in particular raises an issue around the number of people that are supposed to help, with screenings. You'll remember that the Gauteng Department of Education said it would hire about 7,000 youth brigades and would allocate them to these schools. But they're saying, well, there's at the moment again that's not necessarily working properly, and there's one person that is doing all of this in this particular school. So everything is just not up to standard. But also the issues around, dilapidated infrastructure. We went into one classroom that had hanging cables, Tammy, and they're saying, well, we've moved our children from the other block where the windows were smashed, and we're putting them this side because it's seemingly better, but they're hanging cables, and issues around safety, because remember, there still needs to be social distancing. But what happens when these cables start to fall again? So those are the questions that they're raising. They're also saying the issue around infrastructure is one that they've been raising since 2015. They say there was a tornado that hit the school around 2015, and they've been appealing to the Department of Education to assist. But of course, we'll be hearing from them this afternoon in terms of what they're doing really to assist and scale up such schools.
I guess the issue here is multiple-fold. There are historical issues of dilapidated infrastructure that has not yet been restored, and then there are now the immediate health issues of making sure that the teachers as well as the learners are screened, that they've got the protective gear, that there's enough water and then sanitation. And I guess the lines become blurry there, because ultimately I think parents would want to make sure that everything is 100%, not just the health issues, but the other safety issues as well, which are historical in many cases like this one. So what are the parents then proposing? Because we do know that some parents had actually withheld their children from schools.
Well, they're quite open to sending their children to school. I mean, just after we spoke to them this morning, we saw learners start to enter the premises. But what they're proposing at this point is that they do the deep cleansing, because they feel that the school is not even hygienic itself. There was not enough that was done to deep cleanse the school. So
as in the parents themselves?
The parents themselves.
So they're volunteering to
yes,
basically do the
absolutely.
deep cleansing of the school?
Yes. So that's what they're saying. They want to deep cleanse the school, but also have an engagement with the Department of Education. I think for the very first time, we're seeing parents that are not as, you're militant, if I may put it that way, and are not willing to just take to the streets first, but they're saying, we're open to engagement, we want to help the Department of Education, but they have to meet us halfway in terms of ensuring that they work to bring all these PPEs to the school, but we'll also play our part as parents.
And sanitizers, did you see any sanitizers on the property?
No. In actual fact, they say that learners don't even have soap to wash their hands during school hours. There's not enough taps, for water. There's not even backup. That's what they're saying in terms of water, and making sure that there's that constant cleaning of hands. You'll remember that the Department of Health did emphasize the need to have, hygiene in place.
And that being key, specifically the washing of hands. So there's no sanitizer,
yes,
there's no soap, and not enough sustainable supply of water.
Yes. In fact, the only place where you get the sanitizers is when you enter at the gate, but they're not stationed in classrooms where these learners are going to be. You don't see proper water. There's no flushing water. So you really start to question issues around, hygiene in such environments.
All right, very disturbing report there, specifically now that the learners are back at school and that their safety is a priority. Thank you very much, Linda. I'm sure you'll continue monitoring the schools in the province.